Marion, why is my engineering CV getting rejected? Why am I not getting opportunities? I have applied. I'm not getting the opportunities. So I'm here to tell you some reasons why your CV might be getting rejected as an engineer. And I've done a couple of topics on this, so be sure to check out the other videos on related topics on building a winning professional brand. Now, there are reasons why your CV might be getting rejected if you're an engineer. So you can't, if you're using, first of all, before I go to the points that I have for you on my notebook here, of course I have my notebook ready as always for you to ensure I don't miss out on anything. But I've just thought of something right now. It just popped in my mind. Using the same CV for all applications. Oh my God. You can't use the same CV for all job applications. You have to tailor all your CVs. And I think that's, I don't know if it's in one of the points I had for you here, but it just jumped on my mind while I started speaking to you. Now, I have gotten 3 opportunities in the past 5 years, work opportunities, and I promise you I had no connections. But also, this doesn't mean that I did not apply for other opportunities and got rejected. I've been rejected to many opportunities, many others. So just because they come here and tell you I got these opportunities doesn't mean that I didn't get rejected on others. As you probably heard, there is no success without failure, and failure is just one of the things that has to happen for there to be success. So if you get rejection, it doesn't mean that you're not going to get an opportunity eventually. All right? I wanted to put that out there before I start. Now, 3 things that probably why your CV is getting rejected, and this is specifically engineering CV. Not meeting the job requirements, not meeting the core job requirements. This is why I was telling you, you can't use the same CV for all jobs because different jobs are asking for different experiences. Yeah. If you are maybe a structural engineer in the energy area and then the other one is asking for like a completely different industry, you have to tailor your CV. I didn't want to explain that point, but I found myself doing that. Anyway, the second thing that you want to be doing is ensure that you bring out your experience clearly in the experience section. And then another thing that makes people miss out on opportunities is the wrong structure. And I'm going to explain each and every of these points in a bit. Starting with the first one, not meeting the job requirements. There are some of engineers who they use one CV, and that one CV, they apply all jobs using that one CV. That's your first mistake. You're not going to get the opportunity. You're depending on luck. And if you're an engineer, you probably done bidding. Surely you know you have to work on different documents and ensure you're meeting what they're asking for. You know? That's why we do CV formatting and all that. So you have to ensure that you bring out your strengths in relation to what the job is asking for. Yeah? Okay. Now, I've listed some of the things that you need to be on the lookout for this first thing. The years of experience. Engineering roles, they would always ask for years of experience. Unless it's an entry-level role, which sometimes they will tell you the list, others they will say it's just a fresh graduate, but years of experience is always listed. So it needs to come out clearly how many years of experience you have. And it needs to be having the year of experience that the job is asking for. Because many people are also applying for the same opportunity. So if you're not meeting, they means that you're actually already disqualified on that part. I know I told you that you don't have to meet all the requirements, but you have to meet the core job requirements. Because with engineering, sometimes it means that if you're able to bring out your experience to show that despite not meeting the requirements, according to the job description, I think I can do this job. I think I have the experience to carry out this job. Then now you need to ensure that you strongly bring that out. Then even if you're disqualified on the years of experience, then now on the depth and the relevance of experience, you have high points. Yeah. And that brings us to the second thing, the specific experience, because engineering, they would ask for specific experience. Unless you're starting out, they will ask for specific experience. They would ask for experience as a bridge engineer and not a general structural engineer. Or they will tell you with experience in this industry, experience in energy products, in experience in healthcare, you see? So they would always ask for experience in a given area. And so you can't just list all your projects that you've been doing and they're asking for experience in healthcare. You want to start out with, if you want to list other projects, because there's the knowledge that you can use in any project. Yeah, there's a knowledge that even if the project was not about healthcare, you can still apply to a healthcare project. So you want to start out with your projects in healthcare, and then now you can list the other projects later. Another thing that the job requirements would be asking for is the education. Some jobs would ask engineers to have an MSc. Others would be BSc. Others would say MSc is an added advantage. Others would specifically ask this for this role, we need an engineer with MSc. So you need to ensure that you are meeting that education experience. And honestly, if you feel you're not meeting like maybe 2-3 core requirements, just let it go and look for another opportunity that you're better positioned for. And then there is also knowledge of tools. So for example, codes, some will ask for knowledge in international codes. You have knowledge in ASTM, you have knowledge in Eurocodes. Some will ask for specific knowledge in specific codes. And then others would ask for knowledge on specific tools, specific softwares. So you have to show that you have experience of used these softwares. And on your ATS CV, you have to include them on your keywords. The other thing is licensing. If you're a licensed engineer, so they'll ask you if you're licensed with a regulating body, either local or international. Yeah. And then the other thing that they might be looking for is language, because and with language, I also want to add location. There are projects that they will tell you, we want Kenyan nationals only, we want South African nationals only. Others would say, we want someone who speaks this language. Others would say, we want someone who has knowledge of local codes. So there's also the location bit, the language bit. So you need to be bringing out everything that the job is asking for as much as possible on your CV. So I repeat, you can't use one CV for all applications. Yeah. The second thing, let's expand on the second one, which was the second thing where your CV might be getting rejected, is you meet the requirements, but you don't bring them out. And this happens especially if you're using the same CV for all applications. Because, unless you're always updating your CV, and even if you're always updating, recruiters don't have the whole day to look at CVs. So you want to ensure that whatever they're looking for, they can easily spot it. If they're looking for specific experience that you've worked on, then you don't want to put it below chini, you want to bring it up. If they're looking for these years of experience, you want to ensure that when they look at your CV like this, they're already seeing the years of experience, they're already seeing the industry, they're already seeing the keywords that they're looking for. They're already in a few seconds, they can already see everything they're looking for. Yeah. And I think we can finish with the reason why your CV might also be rejected is because you're using a wrong structure. So some may not know this. So if you're applying for a job through email, or you go to the company and hand them your CV, you can use a modern CV with columns and your photo, and it's really, and that CV, by the way, it should be very easy to scan. The one that you send on email or you take physically, it should present most things. The first page should, it should have all things that all the key things that a recruiter will be looking for, and they've already gone through that. Yeah. And also there's a video I did, an in-depth video on what recruiters look for. Yeah. If you're applying through a website, my friend, you need to use an ATS compliant CV, because most likely they're using an ATS system to shortlist. So that ATS CV, it doesn't need tables, it doesn't need the photos, and you need to have keywords relevant to that job you're applying for. So you need to differentiate, you need to have two separate CVs, because if you look at the ATS CV as well, if you want to use it for emails and physical applications, it's not very appealing to the eye. So for someone looking at your CV physically, might not work out for you. So these are the 3 things that if you correct, you're increasing your chances of landing your next opportunity. Let me know which one resonates with you most. Cheers.